Damn.
Alright guys, how's it going? Eastbayanglers out here. We want to talk to you a little bit about fishing a new body of water. First thing you want to do is you want to fan cast. You want to cover a lot of water and you want to do it fast. So you want to use certain baits that are going to allow you to do that. So the faster you can work a bait effectively, the better the bait is as far as a choice for a new body of water. You know, anything that you're going to be basically able to get in fast and repeat another cast. Sometimes you can use methods that traditionally you're supposed to work the bait and just throw it out and look for a reaction bite first. Get a couple reaction bites in the same area, put a couple extra pieces together, and start working some other techniques. Right now we're going to be throwing this crankbait, square bill, custom pH, and see what we can do. Alright guys, how's it going? It's Eastbayanglers and we're out here at a private pond / reservoir. It's located at about elevation of, I don't know, 3,800 feet. We're basically in the lower Sierras here and it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. And there's not really any bank access to this entire place. So right now I'm waiting. I'm in here, got my waders on, I'm walking around. Thought I'd talk to you guys about a few things. So right now I just want to talk to you guys really quick in this video about saving money while you're bass fishing. Okay, first thing I want to talk about is buy your fishing line in large spools. Get them in 1,000 to 3,000 yard spools. That's going to save you a considerable amount of money. You'd be surprised the amount of money you'd save by buying it in bulk. Works out better for you, and you know, I'd check into that. Alright guys, another thing I want to talk about is when you're getting your fishing lures, you know, you gotta sometimes go ahead and buy your lures on the internet. Go on eBay. You would be surprised some of the things you can get your hands on through the internet, especially eBay. You get these lures and you really can't find them too many other places. You might be able to find some of these things on some forums, some fishing forums. Alright, so we're talking about buying stuff off eBay, getting bulk items, you know, at a ridiculous price. Let me give you guys an example, you know. Oh shit, I think I got one. Yeah, I got one. Wait. Yeah, I got one. Got one. Sweet. My first fish. Oh, there he goes. No, he's gone. Dang it. Alright guys, there he goes. Oh, he's right at my feet. Oh man. Alright guys, there it is. There's nothing in this lake really that even matches this forage right here. This is not a color that, I mean, it is, but it isn't. There's really not a lot of fish in here that are that have this color pattern. There's bluegill, there's bass, and there's rainbow trout, but this definitely is none of those. So this color is really not the right color, and it produced. I was finesse fishing earlier. I was throwing some really small worms. I was throwing 3 4-inch worms, 5-inch worms. I was drop shotting. I was shaky head fishing. I was Texas rigging. None of that got any bites. I throw out the crankbait. I start cranking really fast. I mean, I cranked slow. I cranked a little few different ways. None of that did nothing. The minute I burned that crankbait. All right, guys, so we're out here and we're talking about saving money. We're talking about going on the internet and saving money. You know, you go on the internet and you buy a crankbait lot, miscellaneous crankbaits. If you have some clue of what you're looking for, what kind of crankbaits and brands, you'd be surprised. You know, $2-3 a crankbait for crankbaits that retail somewhere between $8 and $10 on average. Sometimes a few that are a little less and sometimes a few that are a little pricier, but that's about the average. You're getting quality lures. You're going to have to tweak them. You're going to have to make sure they run true when you get them, but it's worth it. You save a lot of money. You're going to want to change out those hooks and split rings most. Alright guys, so one of the things we're talking about right now in this video is saving money. So one of the things I want to urge you to do is go online, go on eBay, check out, you know, in your search bar, type in crankbait lots, see what pops up. Look for, you know, as few words that are popular words as you can. So the less that's written in the title, the odds are the more it's going to get overlooked. And that's usually the stuff you're going to get the better deal from. It's not like these deals pop up every single day, but they do pop up. It's just that, what are you looking for? If you're looking for a particular kind of crankbait or this or that, it's going to take time. It might take a couple weeks, it might take a couple months, but you can get your hands on some lures that are hands down fish catching machines. You can't buy them in the store. It's really hard to get them on the forums. Get them on eBay. You guys go on there and you wouldn't believe what you find. I mean, you find a lot of the discontinued stuff, a lot of that stuff that's no longer in production, colors that are no longer in production, baits that were made differently years ago. You know, for example, the Storm Wiggleworts, they kick butt, the originals, but the pre-Rapalas, but pretty much a lot of the ones after that, they're not made the same, and they don't have that same action when they run in the water. So, oh man, this. All right, guys. So we've covered eBay, we've covered buying stuff wholesale on the internet and saving lots of money. We've covered being able to get a hold of baits that you really can't get a hold of too many ways, but being able to get a hold of them fairly easy. Just being able to play that waiting game on the internet is key. You know, personally, I don't care too much if I get a lot of plastic baits. This is a tip I want to throw out for you guys. You know, you can buy a lot of plastic worms or, you know, anything plastic. It doesn't matter what it is. Maybe it's not your favorite color. Somebody else doesn't like it either. They're trying to get rid of it, trying to get rid of a bunch of them. Use JJ's Magic Dye. If it's a lighter shade, anything from that, you know, that baby bass color, that light green, anything from that, you know, from that shade and lighter, it really dyes extremely well. You can really manipulate the color and get some really cool looking stuff out of that. I mean, you can make your own unique customized plastic baits, and you know, you're going to be throwing, you know, colors that have a different appeal, a different look than most other people are throwing. So, you know, if you've got like prism shad or hologram shad robo worms, like, man, you can dye those. And the cool thing is they keep their glitter. So if they got a glitter or some kind of thing like that, or some flakes, they keep the flakes when you dye them. It only dyes the base color of the worm, and that's really important. In my opinion, that's pretty important stuff. That JJ's Magic Dye has helped me on many a days when I've ran out of the actual baits. Oh, no, that's not a fish. All right, yeah, I've ran out of the a lot of the colors that are hitting that day. You have a bottle of JJ's Magic Dye, 3-4 essential colors of it, and it takes about 4 seconds. That's all I do is dip it in for 4 seconds. That's really going to save you a lot of, that's not good. It's going to save you a lot of money on a lot of baits, because you're going to be using baits you would have left in your tackle box. You wouldn't have tied on, really. You don't have that much confidence in. Maybe change that color, all of a sudden you've got an entirely different worm. Alright, so we're talking about, taking worms that are sitting in your tackle box, that are sitting in your friend's tackle box, your dad's tackle box, taking those worms out. They're not a very appealing color, they're not a very good color, they're not your go-to, and you don't have any confidence in them. So what do you do to spice it up? So you don't have to basically just let those baits sit and think about all the money that you spent and how none of it really works. A lot of times color is really important, About rods and reels. How do you save money when you're buying fishing rods and fishing reels? Here's one thing you do. You wait till there's a lineup of reels or rods coming out. Something you really like, something you've heard good things about. People buy them. At the end of the year, a lot of times they get discontinued. They pretty much don't get discontinued all the way around, but they got to make shelf. They got to make shelf space for the new year with a lot of the new products coming out. New this, new that, new rods, reels, lures, whatever. So a lot of times these rods, they get marked down to smaller wholesalers, and you can pick up these rods extremely cheap. I was picking up my Loomis NRX fishing rods for $300 a piece, and blue blank, because the green blank came out and everybody was going crazy all of a sudden about changing out their rods to the next blank color. Is there anything different about the blue and the green? Everything I've read says no. All right, so we're talking about rods and reels, talking about saving money. It's real important to wait until a lineup comes out that you really like. People are talking about it, they're talking good things about it, and you hear about that lineup and you wait till the end of that year. You go on right after Christmas. I guarantee you, don't buy during the Christmas holiday shopping spree. You go on there during January, during February, during even January, February, March. A lot of the times you're going to get stuff cheaper than you can believe. It seems like that time of year, people are selling stuff for nearly nothing. They don't have the traffic on those websites like they should, so the bidding doesn't really go high on an auction for some of that really awesome stuff. Pick up a reel, pick up a rod for about 40 to 60%, depending on the brand and what it is you want. You get 40 to 60% of its retail, period. I mean, that's all there is to it. So that's a great way to save some money when you're out there and you're saying, I'd really like this rod, I just don't have $200. Basically throwing deals for those rods around like all the time, and you just, after a couple, after those rods sell out, after they close out and they stop making them and they go from having a ton to just having a few left, people start paying pretty much retail again for those rods, used or not. So it's all about, supply and demand. Guys, so we're talking about buying fishing reels and fishing rods on eBay to save money. And one of the ways we're doing that is we're shopping during a lot of those inactive periods, times of the year when people just aren't on shopping. And those are the times you want to be shopping. And there's a Super Bowl on, that's a good time to go on there and buy something that's at an auction, and it's an auction that gets bid on and raises the more times it gets bid on. Obviously, the higher it goes. But if there's no traffic and everyone's watching the World Series, the Super Bowl, the Olympics, you're going to get things a lot cheaper if they're ending when that program is on. People are distracted, and you're going to basically come up. You're going to get things super cheap. Another thing is wait till the lineup actually ends. So wait till something that's pretty popular, pretty well established comes out. Like some of them Powell Endurance rods were coming out, and I was paying $60 and $65 plus the shipping and handling to get that rod in the mail shipping, $60, $65 and $17.95 to $20 to ship it. I was getting $170, $80 rods plus tax retail for, $80, $85, everything said and done.